Hey everybody, it's Kayla Lords back for another week of Fit for Kink here on our YouTube channel. If you have been enjoying these videos, if you want to make sure that you see more, please make sure that you subscribe. And if you want to get notification when we upload a new video, just hit the little bell for notifications. Okay, commercial out of the way. I'm recording a quick video right before, in daylight, by the way, right before we head out of town for the weekend. And the thing that came to mind was about cheat days and indulgences and can you cheat and should you cheat and is a mini vacay where you go out of town for a little bit a reason to just give up on whatever your structure is, whatever your plan is, and just have at it and indulge. And the answer is it depends. So let's talk about what we mean by cheat. So depending on what you're doing, so maybe you're watching your diet or you're really working out real hard or you're doing both, right? So it all depends on your fitness goals. I don't really like the word cheating personally. I know a lot of people use it, and so I use it because people know what I mean when I say it, but I prefer indulgences. Cheating has a very negative connotation, and it sounds like you're doing something bad or something you know you shouldn't be doing, and that we already have enough unhealthy relationships with either food or workouts or whatever it is. I don't think we need to add to it by telling ourselves we're doing something wrong because we had something that we enjoyed eating or we didn't go to the gym for a day. So, should you cheat? Should we use the word cheat? That's a personal decision. I prefer to say indulgences. And I know that when we go out of town, for us, we do ease up a bit. So I won't do as much walking this weekend as I normally do. Now, normally what I would do is I would front load all my steps because that's my fitness thing as I walk. I would do as many steps as I could prior to leaving so that I've hit my total or come really close and then I don't have to worry about it. Well, this week, life threw me a couple of curveballs with my mental health and my physical health, and I got hardly any steps in. So I already know how this trip is going to go, and I'm not going to get the steps. It's sort of a wash. I just have to go, this is a lost week. I didn't reach my fitness goals. It's understandable. I have permission from my wonderful dominant. It's fine. As for eating, we have often fallen into the trap of, oh, we're on vacation. Let's eat like we don't mind if we give ourselves a heart attack or whatever. And what always happens when we do that is when we just sort of go hog wild and we just eat until we can't eat anymore, we're miserable. We're miserable during the trip. We're miserable when we get home. And then we get like on the scale or we try and put on some pants and we're like, oh, that wasn't fun. So we have rethought what indulging means. So I've said in a previous video that for me, an indulgence is a Diet Coke. That's a serious indulgence. And I will likely have many Diet Cokes this weekend. But I still have my obligation to get my water in. So I can't just drink nothing but Diet Cokes just because it's this weekend away from home. And I won't feel good if that's all I drink. I need water and I also need coffee just so I can't drink just Diet Coke because there has to be coffee in my life. But that's what we think of as an adult indulgence now. Now, back in June, when we went on a week-long vacation, we did have a couple of days where we indulged a little too much. The thing I kind of like about indulging a little too much every once in a while is, one, you can say you did it. It's out of your system. And two, you usually feel like shit and you go, oh yeah, this feels bad. I don't want to do this. Now, for us, since starting keto, the ketogenic diet, and for the reason that I personally started the ketogenic diet, I can't eat cakes and donuts and breads and some of that sort of fun stuff that most people will start a eating plan and go, oh, I can't eat those things anymore. And it's a thing they have to give up. I was medically forced to give it up. So to me, that's not an indulgence. Having a stomach ache in the middle of my day, in the middle of my vacation or my weekend away does not feel like an indulgence at all. It feels miserable. So I have found it easier to make my indulgences be like, oh, I'll eat a little more of something, or oh, maybe I'll have a latte at Starbucks instead of a regular coffee, or small things within the framework of my plan. And if anybody's like, how the hell do you have a latte on the keto diet? Well, you get sugar-free, whatever they're offering, mocha, vanilla, or cinnamon dolce, just so you know, and you get heavy cream and cinnamon milk. that is how I do it. It's pretty much a fat bomb in a cup. It's a ridiculous amount of calories. But if I'm indulging, that's much better than, pulling up to the table and eating a pizza that I know is going to make me miserable in an hour or two, and then for a couple of days, even though sometimes I would really like pizza because sometimes that's just good. I'm not going to lie to you. So, should you have cheat days? Should we call them cheat days? Whether you or not you should have a cheat day, that is about your personality. So the very first time I ever really got serious about losing weight, when I was in my mid-20s, and I lost a lot of weight over a very long amount of time, what I did, because I knew myself, I knew that if I denied myself food and told myself I just wasn't allowed to eat something, that's all I'd want to eat. So during that time, 10 plus years ago, 13 actually, because the oldest is now 13, I did calorie restriction. So calorie restriction just meant that I had a number I had to hit, and it didn't matter what I ate. As long as I hit that number, I didn't look at fat, I didn't look at protein, I didn't look at carbs, I didn't even look at the nutritional quality of the food I was eating. If it sounded good and it was something I liked and it fit my calories, that's what I did. So I never actually felt deprived, because if I feel deprived, I will go overboard. And if I give myself a cheat day, then I'll eat everything and then the next day keep eating everything. So under that plan back in the day, that worked because I could eat anything I wanted. No, now there were days where I upped my calories, or I said, I'm not going to track today. It doesn't matter if I stay within my calories, I'm just going to eat. And as long as those were few and far between, every few weeks maybe, it was fine. My birthday, a celebration, as long as it's easy to fall into the trap of, if every weekend is a celebration, you're never going to hit whatever your fitness goal is. So there is that. But I also know myself. Now, there are some people who can not eat the way they're supposed to off their plan one day and pig out, totally just stuff their face. And then the next day they get back on it and they're like, yeah, fine, I'm back on it. Many of us are not like that. So you do have to know yourself well. Now, like I said, under keto, the typical treats and the things that most people might cheat and have, that's not appealing to me anymore. My cheats will affect me. They will potentially have me retain water or gain a little bit of weight, but they're not anything I can't overcome. So if I do have a day, I don't beat myself up over it. And that's the other part. That's why I don't like calling it a cheat day, because it's already got that negative connotation. And then when or if you go overboard and you sort of forget yourself for a minute and on a food high, you're going to beat yourself up and then you're going to feel bad. And why? We already have such bad relationships with food. We don't need to make it worse for ourselves. So consider it an indulgence. Plan them in, work them in. I do have small indulgences throughout the week. We eat either lunch or dinner out usually about once a week. I have a Diet Coke then. On weeks where maybe we ate out 2 or 3 times, I have Diet Cokes then, because every other meal, every other time, I'm doing everything else just fine. And I've learned that I can have those things in moderation and not hurt myself. That's the other thing. This whole process is a process. So if you say, oh, this weekend I'm going to have indulgences, right? You're like, I'm not going to call it cheating anymore. It's an indulgence. Okay, you're going to do that this weekend. And then you forget yourself and you have one indulgence after another because, oh my God, it fucking tastes so good, right? It happens. When it happens, pick yourself up, you start again the next meal, the next day, whatever, and you just start from scratch. And yeah, it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing, but you're doing a cha-cha, y'all. It's much better to be dancing than to be sitting still and not doing anything. So this weekend we will indulge. I will probably go over the calories I've been having because we'll have bigger meals. We'll be doing family stuff. I won't go off of keto. I won't eat bread. I won't eat sweet stuff. I will stay within my plan, but I'll just relax a little bit. And quite frankly, I think that's the best way. Just have those moments where you relax a little bit. You stay on your plan because it's supposed to be a lifestyle change anyway. However you're eating to lose weight, if that's the way you're doing it, then, it's something you've got to be able to do all the time, but you also have to be able to live your life too. And so there's got to be some flexibility. So that's what we're going to practice this weekend, John Brownstone and myself, some flexibility. And as soon as we get in the car, we'll start with a coffee because I need coffee, y'all. I'm getting to record in daylight, but I'm recording before I've had coffee. And that just feels wrong. But I have had water. I just want to point that out. I have had water. And yeah, the same thing I think goes for fitness. It's easy to have a few days where maybe you don't go to the gym or you don't do your thing. Well, okay. And sometimes you need to. Your body does need a break. As soon as the very next time or when you realize, oh shit, it's been a while, right? You get back on it. I know that barring any medical problem, on Monday, I will be walking again, even though this week is kind of a bust, because it's just a matter of constantly moving forward. We don't look back and go, oh God, I sucked on Thursday. Well, what good's that going to do? Thursday's gone. What are we going to do tomorrow? That's what really matters. So indulge yourself to the extent that you can. If you want to call it a cheat day, call it a cheat day. Y'all know my opinion on it now. But don't beat yourself up over it. Don't talk badly to yourself if you do go overboard. Just get back on it. Use the resources that keep you motivated if that's what you need. God knows, put up this video and, hear me not freaking out over it. And that's probably the biggest thing is just don't freak out. Just start again and try to do better next time. And that's all any of us can ever do. But yeah, I think life needs indulgences. And I think we need to make space and room for those things and try not to let them be things that harm us in the sense that we think we're bad people because we did this thing that some meal plan somewhere says we shouldn't do. Life just doesn't work that way. Somebody's going to offer you a cupcake. Somebody's going to bring, the sweet tea to the barbecue. And I'm telling you, that's the hard one for me. I would knock some people out of the way to get sweet tea, but I don't, because what I'm trying to accomplish is important enough to me that is a sacrifice I will make. But you know what? If in 6 months I'm at my mom's house and we're doing some cookout and she's got sweet tea and I have a sip of it, I'm also not going to be mean to myself over it. I'm going to go, ooh, I did that thing. I will not do that thing again, but I did that thing then. And that sweet tea tasted really good. So that's how I look at it. That's how I think of cheat days, and we will be indulging. And just a last note on that, at random, I usually I weigh in on Monday, right? That's my thing. Well, everything I've been doing and seeing in the mirror and videos and pictures, I'm like, my body's changing. Is it changing on the scale too? I get on the scale early on Friday, 3 pounds down. I like that. And so we'll see what happens after a weekend of a few indulgences. If it goes back up, that's okay. I expect that. If it stays the same, I'll be really happy. I do not expect it to go down though. I don't. That is the trade-off when you indulge, is that the scale's probably not going to go down. That's okay. It's fine. So I hope you work some indulgences into your life, food-wise, fitness-wise, and that maybe we can all stop thinking we're cheaters and we're just living our life instead. Okay, that's it for me. Like I said, if you enjoy this, if this is helpful, please subscribe, hit the bell at the bottom. And if you love what we do, whether here on YouTube or at lovingbdsm.net or on the podcast, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. We call y'all our kinky patrons because why not? Just go to patreon.com/KaylaLords or click the link down below.